Alright guys, so today we're breaking down this goddamn movie called Mercy, and I'm telling you right now, this shit is fucking insane. We got AI judges executing people, a cop framed for murder, and a whole-ass conspiracy that'll make your head spin. This movie is a fucking ride from start to finish, so let's get into it. The setup. So the movie starts in future Los Angeles, where crime is so fucking bad that the government looked at the situation and said, fuck it, we're letting AI be the judge, jury, and executioner. No more trials, no more lawyers arguing for months. Just an AI deciding if you live or die in a few goddamn hours. They call it the Mercy Program, and apparently it's cut crime by 68%, which sounds fucking great on paper, until you realize they've also executed 18 people who might have been innocent as fuck. But hey, the public feels safe again, so that's what matters, right? Our main character is Detective Chris, and this motherfucker wakes up strapped to a chair in a courtroom. Not a regular courtroom. This is one of those AI courtrooms where there's no jury, no people, just you and a screen. The AI Judge Maddox appears on the screen and tells him he's being charged with murdering his wife Nicole. And get this, he's got exactly 90 minutes to prove he didn't do it, or the chair he's strapped to kills him with a sonic pulse. Maddox shows him body cam footage from when the cops arrived at his house. They find Nicole bleeding on the floor, their daughter Britt crying next to her. When the cops ask who did it, she says Chris's name, and then she dies. Chris watches this in complete fucking horror, because he doesn't remember any of this shit happening. Turns out Chris was blackout drunk as hell that day, and all the evidence points to his ass. His fingerprints are on the fucking knife, Nicole's blood is on his clothes, he was alone in the house, and he got arrested at a bar later fighting cops and trying to steal someone's car. Maddox says his guilt probability is 97.5%, and he needs to get it down to 92%, or he's fucking dead. The investigation. Chris starts going through all the evidence, trying to figure out what the fuck happened. He checks security cameras and sees himself arriving home in the morning, arguing with Nicole through the door, punching the camera in frustration, and then going inside. The footage shows he was in the house for 26 minutes, and shortly after he left, Britt came home and found Nicole dying. The investigation shows Nicole was stabbed by a right-handed man, which Chris is, and the wound was deep enough to chip her spine and pierce her liver. Fresh traces of her blood were found on his clothes, so everything is pointing at him. After leaving the house, Chris went to a bar and got blackout drunk. Security footage shows him fighting cops, getting tossed, running out, and trying to steal someone's car before getting knocked out. Chris doesn't remember any of this shit. Chris wants to talk to his daughter Britt, because maybe she saw something, but the trial doesn't allow juveniles as witnesses. Britt is staying with her grandparents, and Chris can only send an automated message. Maddox goes over Chris and Nicole's history. They started dating 20 years ago, got married after 3 years, and had Britt a year later. Everything was good until Chris lost his partner Ray in the line of duty, which fucking destroyed him and pushed him back into alcoholism. This slowly tore the family apart, and Nicole started considering divorce. Her messages to family and friends show Chris lost his temper 57 times in the last 6 months, which is fucking bad. There's even a video of Britt talking to a friend, saying her mom is crying and her dad gets aggressive. Chris remembers Nicole was texting someone after their fight that morning, but when he checks her phone records, there are no texts or calls during that time. He asks Maddox about a work phone, because Nicole might have had a second one. Maddox didn't know about it, so she gets the number and calls it. In the house, Chris's partner Jack hears ringing, follows the sound to a car outside, breaks the window, and retrieves the phone. But it's a black market burner phone, not registered to the database, which is illegal as fuck. Maddox calls the mysterious number, and whoever it is hangs up immediately. That's enough to track the location, so Jack heads there on her flying bike. They find the phone at a hotel, about to leave through the back. Jack blocks that exit, and when the guy sees cops, he runs. A whole chase happens through the hotel, until they send a drone that finds him on the roof. They tackle him. The guy's name is Patrick, a chef who's late on rent. Patrick claims he didn't do anything, and only ran because he was afraid they'd blame him. Chris asks what Nicole was doing with this guy, and Patrick says he gave her everything Chris couldn't. He admits he flirted with Nicole, they went on dates, but it never escalated. She wanted to talk privately, so he got the burner phones. Security cameras show Patrick was at work all day during the murder. Now Chris's guilt probability goes up to 98% because he gave the AI a clear motive, jealousy. Then Chris checks Britt's video from the night of the murder. She heard weird noises, and when they check the fucking footage, the goddamn basement door is open. They never opened that door. Chris asks Maddox to zoom in and clear the image, and they see a fucking hand on the knob. Someone was hiding in their basement for 2 whole days, waiting to kill Nicole. What the actual fuck? To figure out who, Chris digs into Nicole's work. He goes through the servers of her shipping company and finds emails showing 300 kilos of chemicals went missing in the past 6 months. The chemical is urea granules, used for fertilizers, but also for making illegal drugs. Chris finds an email where someone asked Nicole to meet at the docks. Security footage shows Nicole arguing with a guy named Holt, who asked her not to go to the cops. She refused because her job was on the line. Looking at Holt's emails, Chris discovers he's addicted to gambling, drowning in debt. But someone named Rob has been bailing him out. Chris calls Rob's phone, but Holt picks up. When he returns, Holt reveals the truth. It wasn't him stealing the chemicals, it was Rob. Rob was the one taking them, and Holt tried to help cover it up because he owed Rob. Holt also says Rob didn't come to work yesterday, and the last time he saw him was at the barbecue at Chris's house. That day, Rob asked Holt to give others a ride home while Rob stayed longer. That's when Rob hid in the fucking basement. The twist. Here's where it gets absolutely fucking wild. Rob wasn't just some sponsor, he was the brother of David, the first criminal executed by the Mercy program. David and Rob were brothers, but Rob was adopted alone and his surname was changed. Rob blamed Chris and the system for his brother's death, so he befriended Chris after David died, hid in his basement like a fucking psycho, killed Nicole, and framed Chris for it. Classic revenge plot, except this guy took it to another goddamn level. Maddox tracks a missing truck from the company, and Chris sends Jack after it. In Rob's house, cops find the stolen chemicals, burned evidence, and a book on how to make explosives. If Rob made a bomb, they need to know who the target is. Suddenly, cameras find the truck, and Rob is driving downtown very fast, heading straight for the courthouse. Rob kidnaps Chris's daughter Britt and has her in the truck with the bomb. He's driving to the courthouse to blow up the entire fucking city while Chris is still strapped in the chair. The cops chase him through downtown, crashing into everything, hitting civilian cars. Police try to block him multiple times, but Rob dodges them or pushes through. A SWAT helicopter tries to lower an agent, but Rob's driving too fast. Jack orders her officers to take Rob out with lethal force, even though Britt is in the truck. They send a remote control car with an explosive under the truck, but the connection fails. Chris's guilt drops to 0 because it's clear he didn't kill Nicole. Maddox wants to stop the trial, but Chris refuses. He wants to keep access to the system to help stop Rob and save his daughter. Maddox points out he only has 9 minutes left on the timer, and the chair could still kill him, but Chris doesn't care. He just wants to save Britt. This makes Maddox glitch because she can't understand why he'd risk his life. Chris explains they can work together for the greater good. Rob crashes the truck into the courthouse lobby, using Britt as a shield, shooting security guards. At the same time, the chair starts powering up to kill Chris. The power goes out, and Maddox disappears. The system runs on a spare battery. Chris has 10 seconds left. He screams for help, but nobody hears. At the last second, Maddox comes back online and stops the trial, saving his life. The ending. Chris grabs a vest and tries to talk Rob down. Rob says his brother David was innocent, and he has proof. He called the precinct, and someone promised to check David's call history, which would have cleared him. Maddox checks the records and confirms someone looked into it and found proof David was fucking innocent. That someone was Chris's partner Jack. This bitch arrested David, found the evidence that proved he was innocent, and threw it in the fucking river just to make the Mercy program look good. She executed an innocent man on purpose to keep people convinced the AI system works. Britt bites Rob's arm, Chris tackles him, and they fight for the detonator. Jack shoots Rob, and he's dying but keeps talking. Chris orders the cops to arrest Jack. He reunites with Britt, both crying. Rob dies, never getting justice for his brother. Maddox realizes she killed an innocent man and wonders what she's done. Chris tells her that just like humans, AI can make mistakes too and need to learn from them. So to recap, Chris gets framed by his AA sponsor who hid in his basement for 2 days, killed Nicole, and tried to blow up the courthouse with a bomb. The AI almost executes him for a crime he didn't commit, and the real villain was his partner who had evidence just to make herself look good. This movie is basically saying don't trust AI judges, don't trust your coworkers, because they might frame someone for murder just to hit their performance metrics. It's dark as fuck. The movie is called Mercy. It's worth watching if you're into fucked up thrillers. Like and subscribe. Peace.